listening to Mustang Radio on 91.3 FM, KWWM, Western Wyoming Community College, Rock Springs, Wyoming. This is the Bro Show here on this lovely Friday afternoon in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I'm your host, Braden Conover.
I'm your host, Lil Days. And we have a very special guest on the show today by the name of Alyssa Michelle. For those of you who don't know her, she's a 24-year-old lo-fi artist from California. She's also my favorite female artist, so we're super excited for this. How are you doing, Alyssa?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, we're excited too. We're happy to have you on.
That was like a dream. You know those moments when you just hear like a radio station and then your song, like that's crazy. I'm just
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
So you ready to get into this?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
We're ready.
All right, so what's it like living in Moreno Valley?
It's pretty calm. It's like a little suburbs with mountains and street lights. I mean, it's not that special, but we do have a lake. I mean, there's nothing really interesting, but it's just a very calm place to be. I just started to appreciate it because I left to Orange County for a couple years. Experienced a different place, but now that I'm back, I appreciate it way more. So I really love it. The people are down to earth, and everyone's really cool. So I love it now, but it took me to leave in order to appreciate it.
For sure. And then like with California being kind of like the base for like a lot of artists, do you run into like a lot of like talent music-wise, like just seeing people around or whatever?
I feel like maybe that's like an LA thing.
I see.
But there's a lot of people that are making music in the IE, which I'm really, I'm rooting for anybody who is in the IE. That's pretty cool, like, for people to start making music out here, and be known for the IE. Because I don't really know that many artists out here or that came from here. So.
For sure.
Yeah, you don't just run into people, though. Not all the time.
I see.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what was your childhood like?
I grew up kind of moving around a lot, like all around, like the Inland Empire, different cities. There's a bunch of different cities around here that I grew up just kind of moving around with my mom. So I grew up with my mom. She was a single mom. And then we kind of went through a lot of hard times. Being a single mom in California is kind of impossible.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really a struggle for my mom. So I come from humble beginnings. I'm still here in these humble beginnings. So it's, it's not a rich area that I'm from. So, I just grew up just working hard for learning how to work hard for myself and figure it out on my own. So at 10, I had to figure things out. I mean, my mom went through a lot, so I kind of raised myself at a certain age. So life was kind of hard, but I mean, I feel really grateful that it taught me a lot. I learned a lot, went through a lot of experiences, a lot of childhood stuff that is kind of catapults me in my music a lot, just like the things I've endured and the things that I came out of. So I feel like I'm a strong person, and I think it's because of my childhood, so that's a cool thing. I resonate with a lot of people who go through a lot of things when they're young, so that helps me, to be able to communicate with people and understand other people. So
that's really cool.
For sure.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think I really like that you're mature enough to be able to have that perspective on it. Coming from those humble beginnings, that's where the best people come from, honestly.
Yeah, so like, they say roses, come from the concrete. I think
exactly.
Go through adversity in order to really appreciate things, and I think I've become very appreciative of connection, of everything around me. Just really appreciative of everything that comes my way, even when it's wrong, even when it goes bad. I'm always just like, well, I'm gonna survive it. It's cool. I survived this long, so there's really nothing that can really break me at this point, and that's pretty a good thing to have, in your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And then, like, traveling to your high school years, was it kind of similar situation to your younger years, or did you start to find yourself that time? What was your high school like?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time listening to music. I think music gets you through, high school days. High school days are just, I used to put my headphones on. I always used to do my work. I always knew I was going to go to college, so I was just kind of waiting for myself to get through high school so I could get to college, and then I finished that too. So I went through college, did that, graduated, and now I'm just still figuring things out. You just got to keep searching for yourself, and I think when I found music, that really helped me a lot to put everything into perspective, and all the lessons I learned, I kind of just put them into my songs, put them into my music.
For sure. So when did you start getting into music?
Literally February this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it hasn't been long. I mean, I've been listening to music, and since I was young, I used to listen to Sade. My mom used to be she listens to a lot of different music, and I've always been singing, and I was always try to learn the words of songs my whole life. But yeah, the first time I ever hopped on a mic was in February 2019.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you find your sound starting off?
Ooh, honestly, my producer, Masawa, shout out to Masawa.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
He is just like a magician. He just kind of puts out songs that I really resonate with. So every sound that he puts out to me resonates with my sound. I mean, I just really like his sound a lot, and I think it's unique. And I think it was very easy for me to just kind of adapt to anything that he put out. Any song he makes, I'm always we're always making a song pretty much every time we go into the studio. We make a song and we complete one.
That's crazy.
Right in there. Yeah.
So how long does it usually...
So it has a lot to do with him helping me find that sound, which I'm appreciative of.
For sure. So how long does it usually take you to finish a song? You said
probably 2 hours.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Written, all that?
Yeah,
Hey.
like that Weekend song. That song is it was just like a joke. I actually record while I'm in the studio. I'll pretty much just put my voice memos on, and I'll just record what we're kind of talking about. We'll conversate. We'll talk about the vibes of the day or the mood of the moment. What are you going through right now? You know what? This is what I'm going through right now. And we kind of just talk for a little bit, and I'll record that. And then he'll start playing the beat, and then we'll kind of come to a realization together about what it's going to be about that day, and then I'll kind of just start writing real quick. And then I'll record this whole thing, so I have everything recorded of, how the song started. And
Oh,
so
man.
it's
That's cool.
to see how the Weekend started, because I was going through my voice memos, and I found the one where I started the Weekend, and I remember saying in the voice memo, I was just laughing like it was a joke. And he was like, no, that sounds good. One of my friends was like, no, that sounds good. And I was like, really? So I kind of just mess around, and it kind of just comes together, I guess.
That's cool.
That's true talent right there.
So where does the name DJ Ally B come from?
DJ Ally B. I was actually in college. I was doing radio for one of my classes.
Yeah.
And so me and my best friend, we were both doing this radio class, and she was DJ. We just made it up, DJ Ally B and DJ Leah B, and we were just messing around in the little studio. We would go on and do little zodiac, talk during the day. But it was kind of it was really easy class. But that's how we made it up, just DJ Ally B. I don't know.
That's
Cool.
That's cool. And so then, I understand you have a degree in communications, which is what I want to get my degree in as well. So I was wondering, if it was do you feel like it was worth your time, and did you like pursuing that career?
Oh, that's a big one. I've been trying to understand whether it was worth it or not, but I was in foster care for a little bit of my life, barely. That's not even, not dramatic or anything. It was just a little bit of time till I got adopted by my grandma. But that allowed me to get free college. So I actually got free college. And so I feel like that was the blessing, and I took that blessing and I finished my degree. So I feel like a lot of people have to actually pay for it, and it puts them into debt.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the communications degree, it gave me an overview of the things that I could do with it, but it didn't really go into details. So I took like a radio class, I took video editing class, but I didn't really master any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I just learned the very basics of it. So I think if you were to zone in on what exactly you want to do in communications and take classes on specifically that, like videography or, whatever it is that you want to do. But I do think it's worth it, because I feel like that's something I was interested in. I pursued it. And, now I have my little podcast, and that's considered communication. Your radio show is considered communication.
Uh-huh.
And then music, to me, is considered communication. So, I mean, as long as you use it to your abilities, then I think it's worth it.
For sure. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, just because like that, I just been kind of struggling with like what I want to do professionally, and I was thinking about going to communications. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, I feel like experience is priceless. Doing it is the most important thing, I would say. It's just like, while I was in school, I should have been working for a radio station while I'm in school, but because we kind of just are working on survival at the same time as, being in school, you kind of have to do the experience later or do it at the same time, So having your own radio show, I think that is perfect for, what you want to do. If you already have one, then I think that you're on the right track.
Thank you. So how did you get involved in the cannabis industry?
I love the cannabis industry. Crazy thing too, like I've always been like a little stoner girl, like always been a smoker since I was like 14, 15, and I used to think like people judged me for it. It was bad, I didn't want people knowing, like I'm really weird about my eye drops, like it's just kind of been a thing.
Yeah.
It's always been a thing in my life, and I didn't understand until later. I started to trim. I was a trimmer for someone that my best friend actually hooked me up with that job. And, I started to do it, and I felt like it was art. Like, making weed beautiful was like, it was very satisfying to me.
Yeah.
It was just like, you're just trimming it, and you're allowing yourself to think. You get to listen to podcasts. So I spent like a lot of my time just trimming and listening to podcasts and actually watching YouTube videos and learning things. So that's how I got into the business. Now I'm a bud tender, so I realized that like you can actually do something with cannabis. You can create your own brand. You can have your own dispensary. You can have your own. You can do a lot of things in this business, and I think that the stigma of it being illegal and it being bad, it kind of like makes people think it's not a good career choice. But to me, I've realized and I've accepted that I could actually pursue it. So, I mean, if I want to have a business, in that area, then I think it's worth a lot of money. Cannabis is booming right now, so I'm glad to be in it now. I'm just like, okay, as long as, you're doing it legally. Now I'm at a legal shop, so I was at an illegal shop before, and now I'm at a legal shop, so it feels a lot different. But it's cool to see where cannabis is going, and I've been an advocate, so I'm just happy to be a part of that as well.
For sure. That's cool. So how did you meet Misawa, your producer?
I was invited to a Big Bear trip, like an Airbnb. I'm actually at an Airbnb right now in Vegas. That's funny.
I saw that, yeah.
I got invited to an Airbnb where they were going to have a studio session, and one of my friends, shout out to Leo Ray, he's an artist as well, an indie artist, and he invited me to the session, and then that was the night that I was like, I want to get on the mic, and he was like, well, then do it. And I was like, wait, but I'm scared. And then I actually just like drank a little bit, and that night I made my first song, and that song now is like, it's not good at all, but for me to be like drunk and to make that song like as my first song, like it was really good. I was like, oh my God, I made that. Like, I made that, and it was really good. So I was really like, okay, I could do this. That's cool.
That's sick.
And that's where I met Moss. So ever since then, like, me and him just been making hits after hits. It's cool. Like, we make little hits every now and then. I just don't release anything
Oh yeah.
because I'm still, like, not sure how to go about all this. But it's still very new for me. All of this is really new for me.
For sure. So was that that trip to the Airbnb? Was that the same trip that I think you talked in one about in one of your podcasts?
I had another Airbnb. No, that Airbnb experience was when I graduated college.
Okay.
Through a little Airbnb for people. Because I kind of want to throw events. That's kind of something I want to do, like little cannabis music sessions. I think that's a really good idea, and I think that would really benefit community, like the community in my area. Just for people to come together and listen to music and share, each other's, businesses. And I think everyone is starting to become entrepreneurs. People are starting to understand that you can, like, do whatever you want. So I think that's really cool. And I want to bring people together. So that's the goal with my little brand that I'm going to start soon.
Hey. So is that the little loud garden?
Yeah, Little Loud Garden.
That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't started it yet. But there's just, a lot of people, we got a lot of ideas. You just have to actually execute on them. And, not everything's going to happen all at once. You have to know there's, like, a bigger vision. It's going to take time, take work for you to really, make your dreams a reality.
Right, yeah.
Time.
Uh-huh.
Sweet.
But I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Do you know how long Masawa's, like, DJ'd and produced?
I believe it's been, like, 5 years, I think.
Damn.
Almost. I think it's been, like, 5 years. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly. Don't quote me on that. But for a minute, yeah, he's been putting in work for a minute.
For sure, yeah. His production goes crazy.
Yeah, and it's cool because all of his artists, we kind of just all came to him. So, everything that has happened is just, we just kind of accept it, like this was meant to happen, and, like, let's keep working, We just want to make and create stuff, create good magic.
For
And
sure,
Los
yeah.
PJs, too. Shout out to Los PJs, because all of this music is amazing to me, so I love to listen to it. It makes me happy.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, what was, like, the meaning behind, like, Masawa? Like, what is that? Like, the meaning behind his name?
I don't know exactly but I mean, I know it means, for us, it's like mas agua. It's
Masawa,
like
yeah.
more water. In, in Spanish,
Uh-huh.
in English, it's more water. So when we make our beats, we put little emojis for waves and water. We just call this, like, water. He's making the water. I don't know exactly what his story is behind it, but I just tell him, I need water. I need some water. And then we just, that's when we make some music and stuff like that.
I like it.
That's funny. How did you meet Los PJs?
Same. Actually, I went to high school with him.
Oh, wow.
No way.
Yeah.
Did you guys, like, talk?
But I met him. I didn't really know him then until literally the same Airbnb in Big Bear.
That's cool. How frequently do you all work together, like you, Masawa, and Los PJs?
I just try to go as much as I can. We all have busy schedules, so whenever I go over there is when we make music. But yeah, pretty much I'll be bugging Masawa all the time, like, yo, are you home? Like, what are you doing? But yeah, I just pop by whenever he's available. It's pretty much how it goes down.
That's cool. Like, how far away do you live from, like, Masawa? Like, how?
Like, literally, like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's super easy. Just pop over there and get
Pretty convenient.
Yeah, get some studio work in.
Yeah, we just made yeah, I love making music. It's really it's a therapy for me.
For sure.
To just go in and put my thoughts out. My thoughts.
Oh yeah. What was your favorite song off Black Friday and Cyber Monday?
Ooh, was it Nos Mientos, or is that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Thea is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy Butler is one of my favorites. and then the other one, Wrong Way, and Amen Andy. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, those two projects are really good. I listened to both of them. I enjoy both of them, yeah.
Yeah, you can just listen. I can listen to it all day, just cruising in my car.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite way to listen to it? Cruising in the car?
My favorite way to listen to music?
Yeah.
Definitely car ride, for sure.
Car cruising. Yeah. That's what I always tell people with my music. Like, I think it's like music that you listen to when you're cruising in the car, maybe when you're high. Or maybe when you just want to relax and just feel vibes. I really have a hard time explaining to people what the genre is because they're like, what kind of music do you make? And I'm like, I always get like so hesitant. I'm like, but I guess it would be called lo-fi. For sure, lo-fi. Okay, I'll be like, it's like lo-fi, but it's like hi-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
like,
you said like hippie soul too.
Lo-fi. Yeah.
When you said that, I was like, yeah, hippie soul.
Hippie soul.
So would you consider like you and Masawa and like Los PJs to be like a group, or are you guys just all like independent artists just like working together?
I like to look at it as like a little independent, like we're all on our own little independent, like it's like a little label to me. It's what I look at it as, like without all the business stuff, without all that, it's just a bunch of us creating together. So we're a group of creators, and I think we're all independent. I think that's the goal for every artist, just to be independent and also come together and work together as well, collaborate.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you guys will ever make like a collab tape together, all three of you?
I mean, I have a lot of songs with Los PJ, so I haven't really figured out how we're gonna release them, but that'll be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think if all three of you guys hopped on a collab tape, that would be so hard.
Yeah, it's crazy because we're all just beginning. It's so exciting. Like, we're very new, all of this, but I don't see any of us stopping. So that's the cool thing. I don't think any of us are going to stop. We're all going to keep making music. And that's the cool thing I realized about music. It's not something that you need to stress about. It's not a job. It's just something that you do to make you happy. So you don't have to really stress too much about, where am I going to take this? Where is it going to go? If the music travels, then the music travels. And that's when you just got to take it, for what it is. And I'm really, really grateful that it traveled all the way to Wyoming. I'm like, Wyoming?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's sick. Like, someone in Wyoming really fucks with my music. That's dope.
For sure. Yeah, like, I just found your music, and then I just, was instantly, I was just like, yeah, like, this girl has so much talent, like, and I remember I found it at regionals.
Yeah, I was gonna say on our sports trip, you showed me, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm like, Brayden, you gotta hear this artist. Like,
yeah,
like she's the next thing. Like,
talent what I mean? Right there. Yeah.
And I remember I found you that night, and then that morning we had matches, and I listened to I Don't Wanna, and I think I Don't Wanna was the only one song you had on Apple Music at the time. But yeah, I listened to that song all day.
So you found it through Apple Music or through?
Yeah, Apple Music.
Oh, wow. Like, it just popped up on like a referred, or you found me through Instagram first, and then you went.
So it was through Instagram, but then I found.
Okay.
And then I remember I messaged you that day, and told you that I loved your music because I was just listening to it all day, and then you sent me your SoundCloud, and I was like, oh, I bet she has more songs, and then I was listening to you all day.
Yeah, I love I Don't Wanna. Like, I Don't Wanna, I really love that song. Like, that song describes me. Like, I'm a very indecisive person when it comes to emotions, and when it comes to feeling things. And sometimes I just want to you always want to be happy, you always want to be positive. So when real life hits you, you have to really accept it. You have to accept when things go wrong. You have to accept the feelings or the pain or the uncertainties of life, and you have to accept them. And in that song, I was not trying to accept it. I was like, I don't want to feel anything right now. I just don't. And then that song just like when I put it on, I just really feel a little bit of relief. It kind of like relieves some anxiety for me for some reason just to hear it. So that's the cool thing about music. It really does help you with your emotions, with your feelings.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that's what I love about it. How did you start your radio station? How did you get about doing that?
So like me and Braden just have been like lifelong friends, and then like we had seminary together freshman year, and his dad is the dean at the college, and he also does the radio here. So we just always were talking about doing a radio show
ever since we were younger. Yeah,
freshman year, and then like I think it was like junior tennis came around, and then we were just like talking about it again. We're like, yeah, we need to do a radio show. So then we started it, we got it up, and then we just like a talk show at first, and then like just like my passion for hip hop and music and all that, and I was like, let's turn this into like a podcast, like a music podcast.
Mm-hmm. And we started interviewing people, and we had DJ Phony Stark, and then that hit off the DJ business.
So our boss for like our company that we DJ for, he like just hit us up one day, and he was like, hey, like you guys are basically already DJing, like you guys should come work for us. And we're like, hey, bet. So then we started DJing and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely shout out to DJ Phony Stark.
So you guys DJ too. That's cool. Well,
so tell us about your photographer and good friend Jenny Doe.
Oh, Jenny Doe! I love Jenny. I met her when I was in Orange County. So I moved out to Orange County, and then I was staying in a house with a bunch of people, and then there was this roommate that I had, and she introduced me to Jenny. And ever since, it's been like over a year now, but we just became really close. And she has a lot of energy. She has a lot of energy. Like, I have so much energy. Like, she's wild and crazy and smart, and she's just really easy to be around. And I just started hanging out with her a lot, and she's a photographer, so she's like, I want to be your creative director. Like, she really believes in me, and I really believe in her too. So it's really cool. I've never really had a reciprocal friendship like that before. Like, you know, most people, I don't know. I just feel like with her, she's just really giving, and I'm really giving too. So I just feel like both of us giving, like, you know, we're both supporting each other, hyping each other up. And I just told her, like, you could do whatever you want. If you want to do this, you can do this. And, you know, she started to believe in herself more, and I was really inspired by that. She's inspired me a lot in this process of making the music and stuff. She's a really good writer. She's really good at rhyming. She's a good thinker in general. Like, she's a genius. I really love her. And she wanted to be my creative director, and I was like, okay, like, we could see about that. Like, I think she has a lot of talent, and I think that she's going to be a part of my team. So I'm excited, like, for us to just keep creating stuff and making content, hopefully in the future.
For sure.
That's awesome.
And she designed the cover art for I Don't Wanna, right?
Yeah, she takes the pictures, and I'll edit them and stuff. But yeah, she's been the cover art for that one. And what was the other one? Oh, and Storch as well.
Sweet.
And then I noticed you both, like, just listen to your podcast. You both refer to people through their zodiac sign, which is really unique and cool. So, like, where does that come from?
I've always been interested in astrology, and I've always been doing my little experiments with people, not with people, just kind of like, oh, what's your sign? And from the knowledge that I've learned, I kind of will just be like, oh, okay, like, you kind of do resemble this sign in that way, or like, I kind of just, oh, this person does, you know, do this. I don't know. It could be, some people say it's not true, but I believe it. So Jenny's really into that too. She's even into it more than I am. So we kind of both just go with it sometimes. Oh, it's because they're a Leo. Like, we just mess around, but also we kind of believe it too. I think we believe it for sure. We believe it.
I believe it. Like, honestly, like, at first, like, I was just like hearing you guys like talk about zodiac signs and stuff like that. So I looked my zodiac sign up, and I'm a Taurus. And like, the funny thing is, like, their favorite colors are like pink and green, and that's like the Bro Show, like,
that's the Bro Show logo.
Like,
yeah.
So it's weird. Like, I would laugh when I saw that. I was like, no way. But yeah, I believe it. I like once I saw that and like just reading through like their like personality and like traits and all that stuff, I was like, yeah, like I believe this
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not a set in stone thing, and I think
Uh-huh.
a lot of people, the people who argue with me about it, is people who are like, no, like I'm not like that, or I'm not like that. It's like it's not saying you're specific, you're exactly like that, but it's saying you have the potential to have these traits.
Uh-huh.
You can always fight the negative traits and grow from those negative traits, but I think it's just a guide. It's more so just a guide.
Uh-huh.
To guide you into what you want to become and what you already initially naturally might carry of those traits. So I believe it. I don't know. I for sure believe it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then I saw you performed at A Jams a while back. Was that your first show that you've ever done?
That was gonna be my first show. I didn't perform because I didn't have the right backing track. I've never performed, so I don't really know like how to go about it. I'm still learning, so I didn't have the right track. I was told that we were gonna like have the words on it, that we could have the words, but then when I got there, she was like, "No, you can't have the words on there."
Oh man.
And so my producer wasn't available to give me the song, so we didn't perform it. But
I see.
but yeah, there's still future. She said I could perform there again, but I'm still nervous to perform for sure, but to start, maybe 2020 for sure.
Yeah.
And then I saw Los PJs performed at the Chamber of Ciphers a while back. Did you get a chance to go see him?
No, I didn't. Not in the first, not in that one, but I've been to. They've been performing at another one that I threw. I went to that one.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd like to see you and Los PJs perform. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, it's exciting. Performing, I heard that performing is like a whole nother level. Just met a girl recently who, she's a producer, and she was like, I want to work with you, like your sound's different. And she makes like some house hip hop type of beats.
Uh-huh.
I was like, hell yeah, like we should collab. And she also throws her own little events and stuff. And she was just telling me, like, once you start performing, she's like, you're not going to want to be in the studio. You're just going to want to perform. And I was like, what? She was like, it's another level. So I'm excited to feel that. I'm still scared, though.
Uh-huh. So, like you said, like with different producers, like do you hopefully in the future, do you hope to like work with different producers, or like do you want to just stay with Misawa? Or
I have worked with other producers in the studio, just kind of just to find different sounds.
Uh-huh.
So I've been experimenting, but I am addicted to Masawa beats for sure. Like I'm getting so used to them as part of my sound that. But I do feel like it's important for me to find other beats, and I made other songs with other producers, and they came out good. I just I'm willing to experiment with anything. Honestly, it's good for you to work with different people. Always good for you to collab, different artists, different sounds, so you don't stay in the same. Like you don't want your sound to be sounding the same all the time.
Uh-huh. And then All Right is your most popular song on SoundCloud at the moment. So what do you think it is about that track that like stands out to everyone?
That one was posted on a blog, so I'm thinking that could be the reason why somebody posted it on a blog. But it was cool to see the responses of people that they actually liked it. I really like that song too. That one is a song that I feel like explains me a lot too. Because sometimes you just think too much, or you just things are just, you just don't know what's going on sometimes. I like to mess around and be like, call this a simulation. Like different situations are different simulations.
Uh-huh.
So I'm always like, what's going on with the simulation today? Like I don't know what's going on in my life right now. And so that song is kind of explains that feeling to me. So when I play that one, I kind of feel a little relieved as well, because I just feel like, man, sometimes we don't know what's going on, but it's okay.
Uh-huh. And then I noticed like on the song Storage and Energy, the cover art is like flowers. So I was wondering if that was just like a coincidence, or is there like a certain idea behind like that, like the flowers as the cover art?
Yeah, it kind of pertains to like this brand that I see in my head, more so like Little Loud Garden.
Uh-huh.
To me, I love like the ideas of just growth, and flowers kind of represent that for me, just like growing and beauty, and flowers are beautiful. So I just feel like that's part of my brand in a way. So I kind of just like that, each song can be different flowers at points, just for the fucks of it. Oh wait, what's it called? My bad.
You're good.
You're good.
But yeah, I'm probably gonna keep doing that here and there. I like the flowers.
And then, like you mentioned earlier, you said you're releasing an album hopefully soon. So, do you by chance know when you want to drop that?
I wanted to drop it in December, but then I was like, maybe I'll drop it in January. And then I was like, well, the song that I first made was in February, so I might release it in February. I'm still not sure yet, but pretty soon. I have to get them mastered and everything like that. So pretty soon, within the next few months.
That'll be sick. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Are there any surprise features on the album that we might not know about?
No, just me.
Just you. For sure.
Yes. I'm hoping to create a story with my music, so hopefully people will understand it. I just I want them to give people a feeling. That's the most important goal of mine, is just for people to kind of go through it with me. You kind of from the different songs that I'm gonna release, just they describe different moments and different feelings, and I'm just hoping people will get the little story that I put out.
Absolutely.
So is Summer gonna be on that album?
You said what?
Will Summer be on the album?
Do you like that one?
Oh, I love that song.
Really?
Do you not
honestly,
like it?
I wasn't planning on putting that song on there, no, but that's cool that you like that song. I'll think about that now.
Yeah, I'll just go on your page and listen to it all the time. I'm just I want her to drop this song so bad.
But I'm thinking of I think this is really fun. Being an artist is pretty cool. I mean, anyone can be an artist. Everyone is an artist, and that's what I love about this new social media business. The future thing. It's kind of you're just putting out content because you want to. You're not putting it out because you want to gain something from it. You're literally just putting it out because it makes you feel good, and it was something that you created, so other people can enjoy it if they want to, So I feel like I'm just gonna keep releasing stuff here and there on SoundCloud, just for the people who actually want to listen to it. So I feel like SoundCloud is my way of just releasing the stuff through there. And sometimes I get kind of nervous to put it legitimately on Spotify and iMusic. I just really don't know what I'm doing here, to be honest. But
well, you seem like you know what you're doing.
I'm trying to go with the flow, trying to know what I can and do my research. But yeah, just going with the flow and just releasing off of my intuition.
For sure. And then we talked about Little Loud Garden earlier. So I was just wondering. So you said you want to put on shows and stuff. So you want to reach out to other artists and be that platform for all these other artists, or what? I guess what do you want to accomplish with the Little Loud Garden brand and all that kind of stuff?
I want for sure for it to be a space, most importantly, a space where people can be themselves, a place where people can feel free and share their art and share who they actually are, whether that be with their brand, their clothing brands. I kind of want to just be able to be a platform for all entrepreneurs and artists that are in the same, space, to be able to kind of like a farmer's market, like a little farmer's market where you can go and see what other people have and share with it, share business with each other and also give back. Definitely give back. At one point, if it becomes something, I want to definitely use that to help people that are maybe going through things, rehabs, or people who are homeless, or just kind of give back what I can after I actually create that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited to see that thrive.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. I've been working on these thoughts for a really long time. Just kind of like didn't really know where I was. I kind of never really know exactly where I'm going, but I always just have a lot of faith and hope in God and just trusting whatever happens is going to happen in the way that it's supposed to be. As long as I put in the work and I'm a good person and I love and I share, you know, who I am with people, I'm just hoping that things will just come back to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Trying
really
to change
awesome.
the world, you know, got to change the world. We all
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then we talked about human vibes earlier. So tell the viewers a little more about like that, your podcast, and then like the message behind it, and like stuff like that.
Human Vibes was literally me making sure that I was doing what I told myself I was going to do. Because I've always wanted to start like a YouTube or kind of what you're doing right now. Actually, my first initial thought was always radio station. That's always been something I wanted to start. So I always wanted to be able to play my music, different artists, because I always loved to find like underground artists too. When I was way back when I was a kid, I would kind of like search on SoundCloud and like try to find artists, and I would always find these little gems. So I was like, you know what, I want to make a radio station so that I can, you know, bring up these gems and show people their music. And so that's kind of what my thoughts were at first. And then after that, I was like, you know what, I want to interview people. I think people are so cool, and I want the world to know like this person's story, because sometimes people, you know, don't have enough. They really don't share themselves or share their stories, and sometimes people have really great stories. So
Absolutely.
I was like, I want to make a podcast where I can actually, you know, go out and speak to people and let people know. So I wanted to make YouTube, and I kind of just never did that. So the next best thing was for me to do the podcast, and I was like, you know what, if you don't start this, then you're a failure. So I was like, okay. Like I had to push myself, and I was really scared, but I did it. So yeah, I think I did it like in March of 2019, or I don't remember when, but I just made myself do it, and I'm just glad that I did it, and I was doing it so that I can let people know that they're not alone. Let people know that we're all kind of going through this life, and we're all confused sometimes. Sometimes we're confused. Sometimes we're stressed out. Sometimes we have anxiety. Sometimes people have depression. And I just wanted to make my little podcast to let people know that you got to be human vibes. I just thought of it out of nowhere, like just because I think I'm always talking to people about life, always. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make a podcast where I can talk about life and let people know that I'm a human and that I'm normal, and I'm just here to try to figure myself out and just bring other people up with me as I go.
For sure.
So that's what it's about. And that's what it's about. Just letting people just talk. And I should interview more people. I just haven't got to it yet.
That's so cool, though.
I feel that. And
yeah, it's a lot of discipline. You have to really discipline yourself, like to keep making episodes.
Right.
Yeah, so it's definitely something you got to be disciplined to keep. If you want it to be successful, you have to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And like
you guys do your show like every day?
We do it weekly.
Oh, weekly.
Yeah.
You have a weekly schedule. Something you do weekly. You got to do that. I didn't really do that. I kind of just made them as I wanted to. So I made like 10 this year. Probably make more next year, hopefully.
Yeah, I've listened to all the episodes, and I love your podcast.
No way?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like I would, like when I was getting ready for this interview, like I would just sit down on my couch and just like watch it, and then just kind of like jot stuff down that I was like thinking about, and like there's like just so many times like when you'd be talking about like people or like the internet or like there's all kinds of stuff. Just you guys definitely got to go check that out. But and I was just like, yes, like I'm so glad I'm not the only one that like feels this way or like thinks these things, and like I could just like really relate to you through your podcast.
What? That's awesome. See, that's exactly what it was for. It's a very intimate thing to just sit with yourself and talk to yourself. And I think that's something that I've mastered. Just kind of like getting my thoughts out is what helps me. It's like therapy for me to be able to speak. I'm a communication major. I'm like yeah, I love talking, and sometimes if you just keep things in your head, it just messes you up, you know? So you kind of have to talk about stuff. And I think that this predicament of the way things are in this world, I think people should definitely talk about how they feel and let people know that they're not crazy. Because I think a lot of people sometimes think they're crazy. And I always have to convince people, like, you're not crazy. Like, you know, we're all mad.
Right.
We're all mad. You know, we all have our issues.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fixing ourselves. We're all, you know, unprogramming ourselves, reprogramming ourselves, and we're all in the same boat here. And I just want people to know that. That's what I kind of made it for. So I'm glad that you related to it. I'm really glad. It's embarrassing too. I can't, like, sometimes when I'm in the car and, like, let's say I was listening to it, sometimes I'll go back and be like, what was I talking about? I don't really go back very often, so I'll be in the car and somebody will get in and they'll be like, what was that? And I'll be like,
Nothing.
that's me. And I'm like, let me hear it. And I'm like, no, you can listen to it on your own time. And they're like, what? How are you going to have a podcast and not want anyone to listen to it? I'm like, it's not that. It's just, I don't want to hear it with you.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a little bit embarrassing. I get shy. It's just shy. That's what it is.
And like one thing like I really loved about your podcast was just like you talk in like a way that like even though you're like talking to yourself, like you're talking to yourself and like all the thoughts are going through your mind, like it makes like the listener feel like they're there. Like I felt like I was like right next to you, like having a conversation with you.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's how I feel about it too. I feel like I'm really just rationalizing things for myself, but they're also definitely more generalized. I try to generalize everything so that other people can understand it. But I think I've been trying to get better at like simplifying things, you know, like just making things sound simple so that people understand what's going on in my crazy head.
For sure. So, who do you hope to collab with in 2020?
Cardboard box.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cardboard box. Yeah, pretty much cardboard box for sure.
Oh yeah.
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 I don't know who else. If anyone wanted to collab with me, I would be down for it. It doesn't even matter. There's people that message me and they ask me, if I could collab with them and stuff, and I'm pretty down for it. Just haven't really found. I haven't, not very many people, just a couple of them, but I'm planning to see if I could collab with other people for sure.
And then we'll probably wrap it up. A final question: what's next for Alyssa Michelle?
What's next? Honestly, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully grow my friendships. That's what I want to do in 2020. Just grow friendships with people, and learn about other people, and not stress too much about life, not overthink it too much. Just kind of just enjoy it. That's what I'm going to do. 2020, just enjoy it and live life to the fullest. That's what I'm going to do 2020.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much, Alyssa, for working with me and wanting to be on the show and calling in. Very much appreciated.
Honestly, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Like, I really feel like I'm in the right place. Like, you're helping me to see, like, okay, you know, someone sees, like, the hard work, the things that you're actually doing. Someone actually listens to you. Like, that's the most important thing, you know. Not very many people listen these days. Not very many people really care, you know, and I just appreciate you guys for caring about little old me over here in Marina Valley.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast talking to you and really getting to know you too. It was cool.
Awesome.
And
yeah, hopefully in the future for sure. We're always connecting on Instagram and stuff like that.
For sure.
You can always DM me. I always reply.
And then, like I said, like earlier, like you're my favorite female artist. And then I just wanted to tell you, like, it was funny. Like one time I was at my friend's house and I was like just listening to your music, and I was like, I think you might have dropped a song like recently, and I was like, you gotta hear this new Alyssa Michelle song. He's like, and my friend was like, dude, you're obsessed with this girl. I'm like, I am. Like, I love her music. Like, it's so good.
And then, like, do people like it? Like, when you guys show it to them, they're like,
oh yeah. I'll be like at a friend's house, wherever. Like, you guys gotta hear this. Like, you guys gotta hear Alyssa Michelle.
Yeah, throughout our whole tennis trip.
Oh yeah,
spreading it.
Wait, you said what?
When Caden first discovered you, like he was really adamant about telling everybody, check her out. The whole team.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. This is like, I'm telling you, it doesn't even feel real. Like, who am I? Like, sometimes you're just like, wait, who am I? Like, I'm not that person, but you are that person. You have to really just appreciate, I appreciate that, like, I have the opportunity to, like, make vibes for people to enjoy. And the fact that you guys enjoy them, it makes my heart happy. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
It makes everything just, like, worth it. So I appreciate it. Because it's nerve-wracking to just put yourself out there, period. And I'm pretty sure it is for everybody, for you to put yourself out on any platform, on the internet, period.
Right.
So I just appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, sounds good. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right.
See you.